Let's start with a little puzzle about one of the most beautiful countries on Earth. New Zealand is world famous for its incredible landscapes, but its two main islands, they're surprisingly disconnected.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. We're talking about the Cook Strait. At its narrowest point, it's only 14 miles across. That's it. Seems like a total no-brainer for a bridge, right? So what's the holdup? And look, we know for a fact it's technically possible to build bridges way longer than that. Just look at Asia's mega bridge connecting Hong Kong, Zhuhai, and Macau. That thing stretches for an insane 34 miles over the sea. That's more than double what's needed for New Zealand. So yeah, distance is definitely not the problem here.
The real issue is that the Cook Strait isn't just any old patch of water. Oh no. It's more like a gauntlet, an obstacle course of extreme natural forces that make building anything there almost impossible. First, let's just talk about how deep this thing is. In some spots, the strait plunges down to about 10,000 feet. Now, to give you an idea of what that looks like, imagine stacking 7 Empire State Buildings, one on top of the other. Trying to build bridge supports that deep, that is a mind-boggling challenge.
And the water itself is just wild. See, the strait is where the Tasman Sea and the Pacific Ocean smash into each other, and their tides are completely out of sync. This creates these incredibly powerful, chaotic currents that can literally toss ships around like they're rubber ducks in a bathtub.
Okay, so the water's crazy. What about the air? Well, then you've got the wind. The Cook Strait sits right in a famous latitude band called the Roaring Forties. Down here, there's almost no land to get in the way and slow the winds down, so they just whip across the open ocean, getting faster and faster.
And when all that wind funnels through the narrow strait between the islands, oh boy, gusts can hit 150 miles per hour. Can you even imagine trying to drive a truck across a high bridge in a wind like that? It's not just scary, it is ridiculously dangerous. So you've got the deep water, the crazy currents, the insane wind. What else could there possibly be? Oh, I don't know. How about the fact that the entire country sits where two massive tectonic plates are crashing into each other? It's one of the most geologically active places on the planet. The country gets hit with about 14,000 earthquakes every single year. Now, most of them are tiny, you'd never even feel them. But the point is, the ground is constantly shaking. Trying to build a massive, rigid bridge in that kind of environment is just a monumental risk.
So when you put it all together, the extreme depth, the chaotic water, the hurricane-force winds, and the non-stop earthquakes, a bridge is it's a non-starter. Which, of course, leads to the next obvious question. With all of these brutal, frankly terrifying problems happening on the surface, what's the alternative? I mean, you can't go over the water, and you sure can't go through it.
So why not just go under it all? An underwater tunnel seems like the perfect fix, right? It would completely sidestep the wind and the waves, and even though you'd still have to deal with the earthquakes, modern engineering has gotten really, really good at building tunnels that can handle them.
And the benefits? They would be huge. You'd slash a 3 to 4 hour ferry trip down to about 40 minutes. Plus, it would run in any weather, which means no more of the ferry cancellations that drive people crazy. And hey, this isn't some science fiction dream. I mean, look at the Channel Tunnel connecting the UK and France, or the Seacan Tunnel in Japan. These massive undersea projects are real. It's been done before. So if it's the perfect technical solution, and we know it can be done, why hasn't it been built? Why aren't people already zipping through a Cook Strait tunnel? Well, the answer, as it so often is, comes down to one thing: money. A whole lot of it. The estimated price tag for a project like this starts at $20 billion. For a country the size of New Zealand, that's like asking every single man, woman, and child to write a check for $4 grand, and that's just the starting bid.
And here's the kicker. That massive number is just for the tunnel itself. You'd also have to build brand new roads to get to the remote tunnel entrances, you'd need incredibly complex safety systems, and then you'd have to pay for decades of super expensive maintenance. So who's going to pay for all this? Well, about 1 million passengers take the ferry every year. And that sounds like a lot, but it's just not enough traffic to justify what would be, hands down, the most expensive project in the nation's entire history. The return on investment, it's just not there. And this simple chart really tells the whole story. The UK and Japan could afford their giant tunnels because they have enormous populations. We're talking 69 million people, 123 million people. They have the tax base and the toll players to support it. New Zealand, with a population of just 5 million, is playing in a totally different league.
So if a bridge is physically impossible and a tunnel is financially impossible, what does that leave for connecting these two beautiful islands?
It leaves the good old ferry. Not exactly a high-tech, futuristic solution, I know, but as it turns out, the journey itself offers something pretty wonderful that a tunnel or a bridge never could. For the last hour of the trip, the ferry slows right down and just glides through the stunning Queen Charlotte Sound. It's this world-famous spot for wildlife. Passengers can see dolphins, orcas, penguins, all sorts of seals and seabirds right there from the deck. It's incredible.
It forces you to slow down, to just breathe, and to appreciate the very raw, powerful nature that makes a bridge impossible in the first place. And that kind of leaves you with a final thought. In a world that's so obsessed with getting everything faster, maybe being forced to take the scenic route isn't a problem. Maybe it's a gift.